And you will know my name is the Lord.
I am God.
Damn you all!
And here we are again. Welcome one, welcome all to the one, the only Junk Shop Library channel, home of Improv Bible Study. The Bible study where an atheist reads every last word of the authorized King James Version of 1611. Y'all, this will be the last stream of the Old Testament. We're going to do Malachi today and be done and dusted with the Old Covenant. And it's only taken us 3 years. So, first and foremost, this is not a family-friendly channel, nor one for the easily offended. We discuss all manner of horrible crap because there's all manner of horrible crap in the source material. And I use adult language. So, if you are a children or an easily offended, I would encourage you to leave now, immediately, in fact, if not sooner. We got folks in the house, 3 of the oldest friends, longest running supporters of the channel, in fact, are with us live right now. The one and only Angie Dell, the ever delightful Diary of Lydia, and my old friend Paul Kamish, one of the first and most rabid supporters of this bonkers little project back when it first kicked off the ground in January of 2019. You heard it right. January of 2019. We peeled the wrapping off of, hey, it's right here. This Bible and said, in the beginning. Would you look at that print? My eyes used to be so good. All right. So, it's been an uneven period of time for the channel between the world at large and my own less than stellar mental health and 2 distinct bouts of COVID. We took a little nosedive in productivity the last year or so. Thank you so much to everybody who has stuck around, come back, subscribed in that time. It means a lot. It really does. Let us see. There was something I was going to tell y'all before we launched into the word of the Lord, but I don't remember what it is. So, I guess well begun is half done. A little more than half done, actually. So, Malachi. Malachi is another one of those minor prophets that I have no distinct recollection of ever having read a word of, except the last couple of verses while flipping through to get over to Matthew when I was back in my Sunday school and churching days. So, we will see what we will see. Pause for coffee. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob. And I hated Esau, and I laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar. And ye say, wherein have we polluted thee? In that ye say, the table of the Lord is contemptible. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person? Saith the Lord of hosts. And now, I pray you, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means. Will he regard your persons? Saith the Lord of hosts. Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, saith the Lord of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering at your hand. For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, and in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering. For my name shall be great among the heathens, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye have profaned it, in that ye say, the table of the Lord is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it! And ye have snuffed at it, saith the Lord of hosts. And ye brought back that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick. Thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand? Saith the Lord. But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth, and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. There we have Malachi chapter 1. We got Junie the Apostate and Atheist Mo in the chat. Welcome. Good to see you as ever, both of you. All right, so Yahweh is going out on a straightforward note with Malachi, apparently. Just up and saying the quiet part out loud. I am your father, and I am your master. Honor me and fear me and do as I say, or I will leave your ass and go be the god of the heathens over yonder. Because they'll do it right the way I tell them to. Like you won't do. Can't be bothered. bleeding and chopping up blind animals on my altar. Well, I never. Y'all, I know it's been a minute since we did the Leviticus dance, but Nerdy Rodent says, smite them all. Yeah, seems so. But I don't remember anything back in Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. I don't remember any specification that the sacrificial animals had to not be blind. Maybe it goes without saying, but a God who spent an entire chapter describing in excruciating detail the pomegranates that he wanted engraved on the top of the pillars of the courtyard of his second temple, or well, technically his first temple, but after the tabernacle, the temple. You'd think he would have said if he was going to have a problem with it. I don't know. Maybe that's that. I don't know. But anyway, so apparently the priest, we don't know what time frame this is. Another one of these minor prophets where the time frame apparently is not deemed important. Some of the others have been like, in the 3rd year of the reign of King Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, on the 3rd day of the month, in the 3rd watch of the night of the 3rd day of the month, the word of the Lord came in a vision to the prophet Gagugala as he sat underneath a banyan tree next to the 3rd rock from the left, 3 miles west of the Shepherd's Gate of Jerusalem. As there have been a couple of those. This one of those where it's just like the word of the. How funny would it have been if my camera had picked that moment to freeze? The word of the Lord came unto me in a vision, and he said to tell y'all, you fucked up. Fucked up, big and righteous. He doesn't say what's wrong with the bread. Apparently they've been sacrificing subpar animals, and the bread they've been sacrificing on the altar. How do you sacrifice bread? I don't know. It's a thing. Apparently, it's like, you remember back in the Pentateuch, there was that whole business about wave offerings and heave offerings, which were literally what, come to find out, that was literally what they were. The wave offerings were the ones that you swung around in the air, and the heave offerings were the ones that you pitched. Bread sacrificing. So, Angie, that's an excellent point, and Angie is 100% right. In the last book, in Zechariah, not only was it verboten to listen to prophets, it was verboten to do prophecy, to the extent that they instituted stabbing punishment by the parents if children started doing the prophecy. So I guess at the very least, Malachi comes chronologically before Zechariah, despite being placed after it in the book for no readily apparent reason as of this time. Because here he is, wandering around, telling off the priests at the temple, not getting stabbed by his daddy. So, that is not where the button is. There we go. I'm good at this. So they're doing the offerings wrong, and God's got all butthurt because he's anal retentive about it. About everything from pomegranate pillars to which way the bull butts under the ceremonial basin are facing. And so he prophesies doom and gloom against Jerusalem and the Edomites, and threatens to abandon the children of Israel altogether and go be somebody else's God because they can't follow instructions. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. He's not threatening to exile them to Babylon for the umpteenth time. Yeah, that's the nerdy rodent says that's the problem. If you make prophets illegal, you just get black market prophecies. Yeah, there's prophets skulking around back alleys in Jerusalem over by the Potter's Gate. They got their long trench coats on. You know, you want to buy prophecy? Hey buddy, I got them. I got the good ones, and I got them cheap. Prophecy, can't get these just anywhere no more, you know. Fuckers are stabbing their children to death over these. Well, 2 shekels, 10 shekels, 50 shekels if you want a parable in it too. So, and then there was that weird business right out the gate. The Lord says, I loved you. And you say, how have you loved us? And the Lord says, was not one of your ancestors the younger brother of a bad guy that I didn't like, and I liked the other one? He's got to go clear back to fucking Jacob and Esau to come up with a good example of somebody he liked? How have the mighty fallen? At least Zechariah had the class to go all the way through from Abraham to Solomon, naming off names. Not Malachi. Of course, Malachi's a little more crunched for time. Zechariah was 14 chapters. Poor Malachi only manages to crank out 4. And one of them short. Oh, and just to make sure that we know we're in the good old bad old days of the Old Testament. You notice the lovely little dichotomy there when he's talking about in the very end, verse 14, about the difference between what they have and what they're bothering to sacrifice on the altar, between a male and a corrupt thing. Get your misogyny here. Get your misogyny. Shall we start at 50 shekels? I hear 50 shekels. Do I hear 51? 51 from the woman in the red coat. Thank you very much, ma'am. 51. Do I get 55? Do I hear 55? 55. Man in the back in the big green hat. So, God's gotten all butthurt and he's going to go off and, what was it? Not rebuke them forever. Edom. Edom are the ones that he's going to have indignation against forever. Malachi's a little bit all over the place already. We'll see how this goes. Malachi chapter 2. And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you. If ye will not hear, and ye will not lay it to heart to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart. Behold, I will corrupt your seed, and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feasts, and one shall take you away with it. And ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Lord of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me and was afraid before my name. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but been partial in the law. Have we not all one Father? Hath not God created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother by profaning the covenant of our fathers? Judah hath dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah hath profaned the holiness of the Lord which he loved, and hath married the daughter of a strange god. The Lord will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob, and him that offereth an offering unto the Lord of hosts. And this ye have done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping, and with crying out, insomuch that he regardeth not the offering any more, or receiveth it with good will at your hand. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously, yet is she thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant. And did he not make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit. And wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For the Lord, the God of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away. For one covereth violence with his garment, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously. Ye have wearied the Lord with your words. Yet ye say, wherein have we wearied him? When ye say, every one that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Lord, and he delighteth in them. Or, where is the God of judgment? Malachi 2. All right. So, this is not one of those prophecies for the ages. This is one of those super specific prophecies. One of the priests married a chick who was not a Yahwist. And God's mad. Because the priests are supposed to be all special and set apart and blessed, and they don't have to do any work. They just stand in the temple and pray all day and chop up the bulls and eat them. And also, periodically swing chickens around in the air to absorb the sins, and drive goats out into the wilderness for the unclean spirit to feast upon. And heaven knows you can't do any of that properly if your wife is from a different town. No, never do. That would never do. So, who is it? We don't know. It doesn't say. There's no context clues. One of the priests. Presumably, when this was written, everybody knew what was being talked about, because it would have been a big public scandal. It would have been, there would have been mean tweets and response videos and tacky notes in Sharpie on the walls of the stalls at the 7-Eleven. Everybody would have known. Now, what that means is Malachi got some balls. Because we're talking about the temple without any mention of it being the new temple. And there's been no mention of its destruction or threats of exile as in previous times. So I think just going on the context clues, we can assume that this is during the days of the first temple, which puts it somewhere in the King's Chronicles era. Which means we're pre-divided kingdom, or possibly in the very early days of the divided kingdom. And there are kings. All right? We're talking like the David and Solomon kind of days, you know, nation state of Israel, not that many generations removed from the desert, established, entrenched, standing army, generals, war with the Philistines, nation state despot times. And a very sort of Medici Italy sort of give and take and push me, pull you between the king and the priestly class. And in this environment, in the midst of this, the word of the Lord comes to some random nobody named Malachi, who is not identified as a priest. Okay, he's a prophet, not a priest. And walks his happy ass into the temple and starts lecturing one of the priests about how he has disgraced and driven away the favor of God from the bloodline of the priesthood with his choice of spouse. I mean, it's wrong and terrible, stupid, misogynistic, and not greatly reflecting on the strength of character of whoever this fucking priest is, as yet unnamed. Oh, goodness sakes. Y'all excuse me. My nose is itching. Oh, this weather. Okay. I need to go ahead and get at least one frost in this year so that we can just knock all the fucking pollen out of the air at long last. Okay. So, hey, Ox, how's it going? So, here he is. yelling at the priest, one of them, that he's a bad man because he picked a non-Levite wife. Because if memory serves, the Levites were not actually even allowed to marry outside of their family. The Levitical dynasty really was supposed to be maintained and contained. And not only, it's not like he went and married him a Benjaminite. He married somebody from outside the town. An entirely different God-worshiping fucker. So, I'm sure that went over quite well. I'm sure there will be no pushback whatsoever. Oh, and real quick, verse 17. I bet you the fundamentalists like Malachi. Wherein have we wearied the Lord? When you say, everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Lord. So, if you're not a people of the book, don't come around here saying you're all right and God loves you anyway, because you ain't and he don't. Oh yes, and we can't roll out of this chapter without revisiting the first 3 verses. Priests, do the right thing. Give me my sacrifices with eyes. Don't bring me your lame and corrupt. I want the good ones, the male ones. I want dicks on my altar, goddammit. Sight having animals with dicks. I won't have any other kind. And if you don't, I will curse your blessings. You know what? I done it already. You ain't even got time to do right, because I've already laid upon you a powerful curse. And I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces. Like, that accelerated quickly. 1 minute, he's just mad that somebody sacrificed a blind goat. Now he's so mad, he's cursing people's children and rubbing their faces in shit. A particular kind of shit. Verse 3b, the dung of your solemn feasts. Now, I don't know what that means, but that is a very specific threat. Very specific. Not just, I will create wailing and weeping and gnashing of teeth. I will rub the dung of your solemn feasts on your face. God's getting creative in his last book of the Old Covenant. And we're only halfway through the book. Chapter 3. Behold, I will Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, and as in former years. And I will come near to you in judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Even from the days of your fathers ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. And prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord of hosts. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve God. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return, and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God, and him that serveth him not. There we have Malachi chapter 3. All right, here come the judge. Like, literally. Here come the judge. God's going to send somebody to announce a return to purity, and he's going to be like fire and soap, and he's going to rally everybody back to righteousness and make everything great again as it was in the former days, and everything's going to be nice and smell like roses and all. The sorcerers, adulterers, false swearers, bad employers, and general purpose abusers, and people that turn aside the stranger from his right are going to get judged. And then we go into fiscal policy, because that's always fun. God is mad. because he's not getting all his money. What does a god need with a spaceship? God's mad because he's not getting his money. And if you want it to rain again, you best bring him his money. Got to admit, I did not have the word of the Lord that came unto me boileth down low unto bitch better have my money on my bingo card for today. So there's going to be, oh, real quick, this rain business. Like in the major prophets, you had like locusts and Babylon and earthquakes and crap. Now we've got God's going to make it not rain until you pray for rain, and then he'll make it rain again, and that'll teach you. Minor are the minor prophets. Now, of course, if I put my Christian hat on, I can explain away the inclusion of this crappy little very specific book in the Old Testament because, you know, obviously, depending on your interpretation, your denomination, this judge who's going to come and be soapifying everybody is obviously either Jesus or John the Baptist. Because obviously it's not talking about back in the days of the judges, it's talking about in the days of the new covenant, which starts, you know, after the flyleaf. It's kind of a stretch, though, because again, this Malachi. This is not a real. It's not a real general purpose sort of prophecy. This is not, you know, as it was in the day of the Lord. You know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, hence now and ever shall be, world without end. No, this is like, you married a foreign bitch, and God's pissed. Also, you're behind on your taxes to the temple. Bring it. It's like, I mean, this is just one guy mad at the priests. Not uncommon at the time. If I've logicked out the time period correctly. Yeah, everything's going to be good again. Everybody's going to sit around and talk about the Lord, and God's going to, you know, his ears will be burning, and he'll come to see what the big, you know, make sure everybody's saying good stuff. And when it comes to find out that they are, it's going to be the grand old times again. Not a lot to unpack here. There's just not a lot going on. So now we will turn to Malachi chapter 4. Nope, other hand. Right there. Little bitty chapter. Last chapter in the Old Testament. Are you ready? For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be unto God that we're out of the Old fucking Testament. Wow. There we go. Malachi. Done. Dusted. So. Yeah. One last smite. I promised you when we started. Where's my? I promised you when we started this mess back in January of 2019, and we started with the smiting. I literally did not know that the next two, my bookmark fell out when I threw it. That the sixth word from the end of the Old Testament was smite. I did not know. How could I have known? So, in that day, in the great, and hey, Purple, how's it going? In that day, in the great and terrible day of the Lord, God is going to come back to Israel again. Oh my God, these kids need to get married or break up for good. Because this will they, won't they shit is ridiculous. So, God and Israel are going to get back together again. And God is going to round up everybody who doesn't worship him and set them on fire and burn them to death and spread their ashes in the street for the children of Israel to step on. And all the children of Israel will be one big happy family yet again, or else. Or else. I mean, if that last sentence isn't just the entire ass Old Testament in a fucking nutshell, I do not know what is. The children will return to their parents and the parents will return to their children, lest I smite the earth with a curse. Worship God or die. Convert now or fall forever. So, what did we learn on the show tonight, Greg? Craig? Sorry, Craig. Well, that Malachi, like in fairness, most of the minor prophets, can't write for shit. And it starts off with a very personal rebuke of one random priest's choice of girlfriend, and it turns into a prophecy that all the unbelievers will die, all the Israelites will love each other and worship the Lord, and they'll do it on pain of death. And Elijah. Now, this book is not well written, so it's a little difficult to tell whether the soap judge of the previous chapter is Elijah, or if the soap judge of the previous chapter came to return Israel to righteousness in preparation for the coming of Elijah. If the former, then the soap judge is John the Baptist and Elijah is Jesus. If the latter, they're both Jesus, or Jesus is both of them, or it's the Trinity, the two in one. Yeah, we learned this God character is a twat. You are not wrong, Mr. Paul. You are not wrong. Okay, so ending the Old Testament on a high note. All earth will be peace and love again. Now, mind you, it'll be peace and love again because everybody who's not peaceful and loving and Yahwist is going to be dead, cremated, and stepped on. And the peace and loving and Yahwistness is going to be enforced under terror of the curse of the Most High God on the entire ass world. But the trains will run on time. Peace at any cost. Nuclear option. So, Old Testament. Done. Feels a little weird. So, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And we will all live together in God worshiping, bliss and solidarity, sitting each man under his own vine and fig tree, fertilized with the dust of the unbeliever, under the reign of the returned prophet of fire, Elijah, on pain of death for the world. Quite a journey. Quite a journey. Peace, yeah, peace through superior firepower. Exactly. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we have been, this has been an adventure. It's not over. We've still got the new testicles to get through. I'll give y'all a better heads up for the next stream, Paul. Over the course of the last almost 3 years, we've done every last word of the Old Testament. So when the crappy internet apologists try to tell you that atheists either don't read or have never read the Bible, we can speak for a fact and with absolute certainty that in at least one case, they are wrong. This is the third house I've done these streams in. At least the fifth set. Some of y'all who are watching this live right now have been with me long enough to remember the original set, which was my big ugly chair against the wall with the plant looming over my shoulder. Well over 300 videos on this channel. Now, some of those don't hardly count, and some of them aren't anything to do with the Bible, but still. 100 videos a year. That's bananas. Paul, you're debating chill? Oh, my stars. Drop the link in the chat. That is going to be a trip. The big green hat, yes. The probably fortunately short-lived big green hat interviews project. I think actually only 2 episodes, and both of the big green hat folks were here in the chat at one point. One was Paul, one was Diary of Lydia, who was here with us right when the stream started. Both of those were tremendous fun. I want to thank some people. I want to thank everybody who has supported me over on Patreon through this interesting little endeavor, especially, well, not especially anybody, just everybody who has supported the channel. enabled us to keep doing these streams. I want to thank the folks who sent us the amazing microphone that we're using. They do not wish to be identified, and I will, of course, respect that. I want to thank MathPig and his two Germans who helped us select the components for the computer that we're streaming from. Because y'all remember the junk shopping days when I was on my old laptop when I first started trying to do live streams? Woo, dolly. I want to thank some folks I can't thank on air. You know what you did. You know what it meant. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make the light of his countenance shine upon you and give you peace. And of course, I want to thank my wonderful wife, Julie. She couldn't be with us today because reasons. Not my story to tell. Everything's okay. She encouraged me to get this project started when I first floated the idea a few years back. Encouraged me to keep going at some times when I was seriously considering pulling the plug down to the level of deletion. And helped me understand that it was okay to step away sometimes when I really had to for the sake of my own mental well-being. I want to thank everybody who has guest starred on the channel over the years. Some of those folks are in the chat right now. I don't think I've got a collaborations playlist. That is something I should probably do. I just had never occurred to me until this very moment. I want to thank everybody who has been watching, turning up in the chat and chatting, smiting and being smoked, being smoked, being smitten. Wow. This has been a difficult slog at times. The Old Testament is not a pleasant place. But I am so glad we did this. And I am so glad and so thankful to everybody who came along for the ride. I did not anticipate having as much fun with this as I have. I did not anticipate learning as much as I have, both about the internal business in the Bible and about other random stuff like live streaming and video editing, none of which I knew absolutely anything about when we first started. Where did that voice come from? When we first started. Excuse me. Just getting a little emotional, which I did not anticipate, but should have known would happen because I live in here. So, cheers. I'll do the next stream next Sunday probably in a similar time frame, early afternoon, 1:30, 3 o'clock, something, early afternoon. Because if we don't kick off the New Testament on a Sunday in Advent for a blasphemous Bible study, what even kind of cringy internet atheist am I? Damn it. I knew. Fuck me. Okay. Thank you. Another thanks. To the Lone Wanderer, who got me a replacement Bible when the original one fell apart. Literally fell apart. Pieces, a large chunk of the book of Job just fell out of the binding one day. And this just come in very, very useful a couple of times, especially in these fucking minor prophets. So much fun. Everything from the googly eyes. Oh, no. I was going to say to the book of Numbers, but no, that was not, in fact, any fun at all. That was I was watching paint dry on a flat floor levels of boring. No, absolutely not. No. Ask, and you shall see the sheep are the unseen words. Those are words. Um, 300 videos in 3 years. But we've got the Old Testament in the rear view now. So like I said, we will start the New Testament next Sunday. Usher in Elijah the soap judge, apparently. And we'll see if any of the prophecies are actually fulfilled. Place your bets. Just shows you that, yeah, Purple, you are exactly right. Just shows you they never meant for Bibles to be read. They only expect people to keep them around for show. I have so many Bibles. Y'all know from time to time over the course of the Old Testament, we've done side-by-side comparisons of some of the various translations, and anybody who was over on Patreon, we did a very lewd translation of the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. That was amazing. It's just coffee. Which is innately superior to tea. Thus saith the Lord, the God of hosts, the burden of the word which came unto me. All right. I said y'all at the beginning, there is something I was supposed to tell y'all, ask y'all. I don't have any fucking clue what it was. So we'll wrap here for now. We will congregate again next week for the Gospel according to St. Matthew and see what the soap judge has in store for us. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. Special thanks to my dear friend Bree for the intro, outro that we open with and close with, as opposed to what else do you do with an intro, outro? Holy Moses. Fuck me. Okay. I should go while I'm still making any sense at all. And as we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care and be safe and stand against hate. So